Good. I promise you, things are about to get a lot easier for you, and it's coming down to the 3 strategies I want to share with you today. So this is how to plan your alkaline diet in minutes so that it lasts you years. It's a really simple strategy and it's got a few steps to it. So we're going to go through those steps really quickly now. Again, take notes. If you see something that's important to you, if there's something that comes on, you go, I don't want to forget that, take notes. But at the end, I will be sending all of you the workbook for this workshop. So don't actually try to do the exercises now. They take a little bit longer than we've got time for here, but do take notes. So let's jump into it. Step 1 of the automatic alkaline meal plan. What I want you to do is write out a list of your 10 or more current family favorite meals. Okay, the meals that you default to, your safe bank of meals, that when you're thinking at night, oh, what are we going to have for dinner? These are the meals that pop into your head. It doesn't matter if it's pizza and chips or lasagna or burgers or whatever it is. It doesn't matter what the meal is. I want you to write them down in a list, as many as you can think of. Just get them down in a list. Even include some of those foods and meals that are like cheat meals or treat meals. You get them down in a list of 8, 10, 12, as many as you have in your family, even if it's only 5. The next step, list out all of the ingredients under each meal. So what I normally do and what I've done in your workbook is you put the meals across the top of your page landscape and then write down the ingredients under each recipe below it. Takes 5 to 10 minutes. Under each recipe, list out the ingredients that each of those recipes uses. Then the great swap. So all of you guys, if you are a part of my world, will probably have your acid alkaline food charts. If you are not, I'm going to include this in the email at the end with your workbook anyway, so that you've all got it. So what we need to do is start the great swap. This is where you mark a little X next to each of the most acidic ingredients in each meal. So for lasagna, you'd mark a little X next to the pasta, to the cheese and so on. And then you want to go through the charts, and included in the charts is a swap sheet, and mark out how you can swap the most acidic ingredients. It doesn't have to be every acidic, but the most acidic ingredients for a more alkaline version. A good example of this is spaghetti bolognese. So you can use, instead of regular pasta, you could use gluten-free pasta. Instead of using a jar of sauce, which typically, guys, jars of pasta sauce typically contain 12 to 15 grams of sugar in them. Not good. They've got preservatives, they've got colorings, they've got flavor enhancers and all sorts. Instead, could you just really quickly blend up, garlic, red onion, tomatoes, capsicum, some basil and maybe a little spinach. Just blend it up real quickly. And there you've got a fresh, it's actually raw. If you just heat it gently, it's still raw. A fresh sauce that you can use instead of the jar of sauce. You've got gluten-free pasta instead of regular pasta. And then if you do continue to use the beef mince, that's totally fine. You're just starting out, okay? You've taken a recipe that would have been 100% acid forming and you've swapped it for a recipe that's 30% acid forming. When you're cooking with your family, the worst thing is having to cook one meal for them and one meal for yourself. With this, they have the gluten-free pasta. They have the sauce you've just used, that you've just created, and they still get the meat and they're happy. You don't have to throw everything out and start from scratch, okay? And remember, with meat, you don't have to eliminate all meat, okay? That isn't a prerequisite of being alkaline. You can still eat some good, high-quality meat. The rule, the guideline here is if you're going to keep eating meat, don't have it every day. Instead of having it every day, have it a few times a week, but take your same meat budget and spend it on smaller, the best quality, highest quality meat you can find, the best quality meat you can consume, and have it smaller portions less frequently. That way you're still getting what goodness there is in the meat, you're getting less of the acidity that's in the meat, and you're making the whole family happy. And that's really what's most important here. They say the nutrients in the meat are the nutrients that animal ate. So See it that way. Just don't buy cheap. Can somebody do me a massive favor and post in the chat box and say, for all of you guys who are locked out, because it is capped out at 500, I did warn to get here early, it will cap out at 500. I will do an encore session. I'm not sure when. I will do another session for those people. All right. I have no idea when, and it may not be in a good time zone for everyone on this, because there's only so many times I want to be up at 4 in the morning. So this is something that's so important to a lot of people, and it's sneaking the goodness into your family. I know that if you've got a health challenge, that, you know, fit your own life mask before fitting everyone else's. Heal the healer first. But if there's other issues in the family as well, other health conditions, I know that you guys have got a big heart, and I know that you want to help your family no matter how resistant they are. This is a really great way to do that. It sneaks it in. You can easily see how you could sneak in a little bit of extra goodness, a little bit of extra greens in there as well. Sam, who I mentioned earlier, she had this exact situation. Her partner and her son, she wanted to help those as well. She started by changing her own diet. Her family just couldn't understand why there were suddenly bliss balls and juices everywhere. But she just started making these little changes in her diet. You know, we work together. She's in the Alkaline Base Camp. We work together on this. She just started making some fresh sauces, a smoothie that was 50% alkaline, 50% a little bit more lenient towards them in the mornings, and then changed it to 75-25 and so on. She turned her health around, as you saw, to get all of that inflammation and pain out, which she had had in her body since she was a teenager. But she also saw her son's health turn around, his behavioral challenges change and his energy change, and amazing. With just a few simple shifts, you can do this. Okay, I know a lot of you have less than supportive partners, but this is a way to get around this. All right, so that's step one. It's part one and part two of step one. So let's now get on to step two. This is the fail-safe shopping list. So now that you've got all of your recipes, you've got all of the ingredients, and you've done a few of those swaps, what I want you to do is take that same sheet and just start to highlight the frequently appearing common ingredients. Just keep on circling them, keep on highlighting them, until what you're going to find is you're going to get a core of 3, 4, or 5 recipes that share the same small number of ingredients. You're going to find this is a really eye-opening process. You're going to end up with a bank of 4, 5, 6, sometimes 7 or 8 recipes that share pretty much the same 10 to 15 ingredients. The aim here is when you go to the grocery store, when you go shopping, you know that if you, every time you go, you buy those same 15 ingredients, you will always have a go-to collection of at least 4 or 5, but in reality, more like 8 to 10 recipes that you will always have available to cook. You will always be able to make with this small number of ingredients, and you know that you're pretty much always going to have them there in your fridge and in your pantry. For me, I know I've done this exercise many years ago, and it's just stuck with me and works with me over and over again. I've taught it to thousands of people over the years in the Alkaline Base Camp. It works every time. It's a massive eye opener. And I know that if I shop for these ingredients, you can see them on the screen. I'm not going to read them all out. If you shop for just those ingredients, I know that I can make from my memory bank of recipes, all of these recipes. How many are on there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's probably 25, 30 recipes on that screen from those ingredients. When you go to the grocery store, you buy these ingredients. Real simple. They're all in the first section of the grocery store. This is what I say when I'm saying to you, I'm going to save you time. This is the sort of thing that lands that comment. When you go grocery shopping, how long would it take you to shop for these 20 ingredients? And then you know you can make these 30 recipes. There's snacks, there's breakfast, there's lunches, there's dinners in there. You are covered. Okay? This is how we save you time. This is how we save you money. It's estimated that the average American family throws out between $80 to $120 worth of wasted food every single month. That's the conservative estimate. In some studies, it's $60 a week of food that's just gone bad. This is how you change that. In my experience, there's just a couple of pressure points when people get overwhelmed and they crack. One of these is when you get home from work, you're hungry, you're in a hurry, you've got a hungry family, and there's nothing in the fridge. There's nothing in the pantry that's fresh. So you just grab something easy, which is usually unhealthy, or you get convenience or takeaway foods, which are always unhealthy, and it all falls apart. And 2 or 3 weeks later, you look back and go, oh, I really need to get back on track. This prevents that. This stops that from happening. At any given moment, you will know you always have the ingredients in your fridge and your pantry to make one of at least a dozen meals. It's awesome. It works. In the Alkaline Base Camp, I took this even a step further last month and devised, in fact, 2 months ago now, and devised a lockdown meal plan for people. Lockdown being a metaphor for those times where you're busy and you're stressed and you can't get to the shops. You haven't got access to that many ingredients because, you know, you're too busy to go shopping 3 or 4 times or whatever. It's the simplest, most core alkaline ingredients, the simplest meal plan with the least number of ingredients. That's the most basic, and people have been loving it. People have been loving it, but this is how you do it for yourself. It eliminates that stress and that pressure immediately. This is going to make it a breeze for you. It's going to make it so much easier for you to live alkaline and stay alkaline. It's really simple and it works.